Sunday night here, Hot Rod Racing League, Daytona International Speedway. And tonight is the all-star event here for Hot Rod Racing. 3 segments, 2 25-lap segments, 1 10-lap segment to finish this thing off. And I'll tell you what, the last 10 laps, Cowboy, ain't going to be no caution flags flying in the booth with me tonight. None other than Sensation himself, Dakota Irvin, who usually works pit road for us down here most of the time, but Dakota up in the booth with me tonight. Dakota, I tell you what, Cowboy, they're all here tonight. Ron Brown, Michael Keaton, ETV Live's own. But 2 25-lap shootouts, mandatory caution, first segment on lap 10. What do you think?
Well, it's going to be interesting when they got to come down and get 4 tires, and you're going to see everybody filling up those fuel tanks tonight. Definitely from a pit road perspective, because you get more fuel with the back end down. So it's going to be something tonight to watch on pit road, getting on and off, and just supposed to be some good racing, hopefully.
And Daytona International Speedway, 2.5-mile track here, Cowboy, 30-degree banking into turns, and then, of course, that presents another problem. Draft means everything at these big old wide plate tracks here. So we're looking at probably, what, 3 to 4 laps before they got to make the switch?
Yeah, you're going to notice, I know this from personal experience, that it's easy to blow up the engines here. And the first little run where the engines are cool, you're going to see 4 to 6 laps so they're going to be able to go before they switch. But the longer they go, the less time it's going to be before they switch every time, because the engine's going to get hotter and hotter, and it's not going to be able to cool down as much when they switch.
You bet. Getting ready for some fun here tonight. The second segment, 25 laps. The top 10 is going to be inverted for that segment, so that leads up to the third segment, 10-lap shootout, Cowboy, no caution flag, so that's when they let it all hang out. The winner of that particular heat going home with a $10 racing credit. Second place gets $5, and then the winner for each one of the first 2 segments, 25 lappers, they each get $5 in racing credits, iRacing credits here at Hot Rod Racing. So getting ready to get this thing rolling. Michael Keaton got the pole here tonight, Cowboy. Tell you what, lickety splitter on Daytona, 47.577 for the Batman up there in front. And we'll go down through the lineup here just momentarily as these guys get the motors fired up and get ready to roll out here at Hot Rod Racing's all-star event at Daytona International Speedway. And as they start taking the grid, Dakota, why don't we go ahead and take them down through the points, or down through the lineup here? Points, what points, Cowboy? This is all about bragging rights here tonight. Starting out on the pole here tonight, the Batman himself, Michael Keaton, who does a bang-up job, sometimes working pit road down there with us here at ETV Live, and also has done a couple of stints up here in the booth with Ron Day, who's also on the track down there. J.D. Baker, he'll be starting on the outside of Michael Keaton here tonight in that number 5 machine. Go ahead with the second road.
Yep, and then on the inside, the number 73, we have Mark Brown, and on the outside of him in 4th position, the 24 of Robert Pruitt.
Jamie Haley, he'll be sitting in the number 5 spot on the inside. And in 6th position on the outside, driving that number 1 machine tonight, will be Chris Wright.
7th on the inside, the number 25, we have Doug Easterday, and on the outside of him, and the number 74, we have Adam Monsteoka.
And in 9th position, driving that number 31 machine, Steven Dotson. He'll be starting on the inside. Outside him, Emil A. Duna, qualifying in with a 47.695 here, guys. In that 14 truck, he'll be starting in 10th.
And our last person to actually run a qualifying lap here in the 53 is our very own Ron Day. Starting on the outside of him is going to be Bruce Boyer in the number 20.
And in that number 2 machine on the inside, starting in 13th position, Troy McLean. On the outside of him in 14th, driving that number 9 car truck, Doug Benwick.
And 15th on the inside, the number 68 of Keith Johnson. And on the outside of him, we're going to have Chris North.
Randy Collins, Luke Zyke, and Michael Lippincott make up your your back 3 here. 19 drivers here in the shootout tonight. Looking over here in the chat room, looks like Sean P. Actually, that's going to be ETV Sean. He was with us here in the booth this morning, actually, from where were we, John? Silverstone. How did Sean call it? Silverstone. And Steve Ritter along for the ride with us tonight. Of course, Amber Keaton, she's keeping an eye on Batman and that 07 machine on the pole up here tonight. So 25 laps here, 10 laps. At the 10 lap mark, they have to come in, make a 4-tire change regardless of position or lap. Now, if the caution should come out on that lap, they have to do 2 laps and then come in. They must pit under green flag and take 4 tires.
Yeah, and that's going to make it that much more interesting. And another thing to watch is you don't want to get caught speeding on pit road, but there are some ways you can go a little bit quicker on pit road, try and make up some time. And I mean, pit road itself is going to be one of the most challenging parts tonight, JD.
You bet. I'll tell you what, Cowboy, the pace car is getting ready to pull off, going to make that sharp left-hand turn, head on down pit road. Michael Keaton going to take him to the green flag, Cowboy. It's up in the air, and they are down on the throttle. The first 25 lap shootout here at Daytona for the Hot Rod Racing All-Star Race.
I'll tell you what, in the back we already have 5 cars that kind of lost the draft already, or kind of lost the main pack quickly.
Michael Keaton gets off to a big run up here in the front, but I'll tell you what, not even a half lap in the books yet, and he's already in trouble. Looks like he's going to be overtaken by the 73 machine. Mark Brown moving up to the outside, going to overtake the leader here, Michael Keaton, and ride that high line up here without any help so far. Oh, he does have some help. Chris Wright moving up, taking up position behind Mark Brown up here. So I'll tell you what, race is on here, Cowboy.
Yeah, and still watching that little pack in the back. So we got 3 cars back there, and one of the cars that was back there ended up pulling up. He's catching somebody. I think he's going to try to run the field. I think it's like 82 of Chris North and Troy McLean have almost lost the draft. They're just trying to get together here.
Daytona International Speedway. This is, this is a big-time drafting track. I mean, if you want to get anywhere here, you got to work the draft. You got to find a drafting partner down there. And dance partner, work the music, work the draft here, Cowboy. But I'll tell you what, Michael Keaton up in the front with Chris Wright now actually it's going to be Mark Brown and Chris Wright trading positions back and forth here. And I don't know if Chris Wright looking for a position on Mark Brown up here or what's going on. A little bit early to be making that swap, but I'll tell you what, Cowboy, they've only got 25 laps to get the job done here tonight, so these boys are letting it all hang out.
And a rather interesting breaking out story here. Michael Keaton has been black flagged by race officials. Not sure what that's about. We'll have to look into that. He tried to get, whoa, Michael Keaton trying to get off to the apron there, and looks to be a little bit sideways.
All right, maybe we can we'll have to get in touch with race officials and find out what that black flag was all about. But pole sitter Michael Keaton being a black flag, he'll have to go in and serve that penalty. That's for sure going to put him down a lap. Now he may be able to squeeze back out on the lead lap, but I'll tell you what, he'll be running by himself, Dakota, without any help. So these guys are surely set to come back around and put him down a lap by the time he gets back out.
Yeah, and it's weird. He started to pull off at the tri-oval, and then I mean he backed up almost a lap before it was time for him to pit. I mean before he was black flagged, JD. I'm not sure what's going on here, but he might be having some problems with the car.
That could be, and I'll tell you what, it's 2 by 2 behind Mark Brown and Chris Wright up here, guys. These guys start jockeying around looking for position, and I'll tell you what, money's on the table, Cowboys. The spotters up there on the wall, up on top of the building up there, making the deals. 74 car of Adam Montecoya making a push towards the front with the 73 of Mark Brown up on the top up here, riding the wall up here. And it's like they're going to take the lead from Chris Wright and Mark Brown.
Yeah, I've had a few different leaders so far already.
You bet. 5 laps. I was just going to say we're 5 laps away from the mandatory pit stop here in the first 25 lap segment at Daytona, guys. So this is the Hot Rod Racing League shootout here tonight, the All-Star Race. First segment, 25 laps. Mandatory stop coming here just short.
kind of single filed out mostly here. I only see one car. Looks like side by side with anybody, and somebody on the
trouble
wall.
up in 74 car. Looked like they were getting ready to make the split. 74 car gets out of shape. Now we got caution coming out on the track. Can't see who that was. I need to roll it back here, but caution out on a track. Somebody's spinning up here in the front, guys. It's going to be the O2 machine of Jamie Haley getting sideways up here, and I don't know whether that was a result of trying to see who that was up here in front of him who got out of shape here just before that. Might have been Adam Mostakoya in that 74 car, Dakota. Tangling, Adam Mostakoya tangles with the apron down there, jumps off the throttle, try to get that truck back under control. Now moving it back here to that O2 machine. I think the O2 trying to avoid that, probably jumped off the throttle a little bit too soon. He goes down, tangles with the apron, and around the O2 goes.
Yeah, the apron is a very dangerous place, especially in these trucks. I mean, from personal experience, I know when you get the apron just a little bit, I mean, it can affect your car so much, and it can cause a wreck easily with your car or another car getting together right there. And the tri-level is one of the worst spots for it, especially.
All right, first caution coming out here at Daytona in the first 25 lap segment here. Caution coming out on lap 7. So, the mandatory pit stop was supposed to take place on lap 10. It will more than likely take place on lap 12 here in this first segment. Remember, they cannot pit under caution. They must wait until the mandatory stop under green, and they have to come in and take 4 tires. No bones about it. So I'll tell you what, first caution coming out here at Daytona. Why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take a commercial break right here, right now, Cowboy. You're watching live, ETV Live. It's the only choice. Hot Rod Racing League's All-Star Race from Daytona. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. Alright, we are back live here at Daytona International Speedway, Hot Rod Racing League's All-Star Race. Having issues already here, 7 laps in tonight, and the O2 car goes for an E-ticket ride, bringing the caution out for the first time. Here's the deal, Cowboy, 25 lap segment here. They must pit and take 4 tires, but they have to do it on a green flag lap. That was supposed to have come on lap 10. Ain't gonna happen this time around, Cowboy, because we won't be green by that time. But they're gonna have to come around, make 2 laps, I believe I heard the race officials say, Dakota, and then come in and make their green flag 4-tire mandatory pit stop and hustle back up.
Yeah, JD, well, I'll tell you who's kind of happy about that caution. Michael Keaton is now back on the lead lap after receiving a wave around. Turns out he was black flagged for jumping the start, guys, so that was something you got to watch out for.
And also Ron Day, ETV Live's own Ron Day, who pulls a stint up here in the booth on occasion. He's also down a lap and apparently having some difficulty with the number 53 machine tonight, guys. Looks like Dakota, he might have put it behind the wall and calling it a night.
Yeah, we believe he has been called out. They think they found something in the engine is what I'm hearing a report of, and they don't think they can get it out, but maybe for the next segment they're looking to get it back out, possibly.
Yeah, we'll have to see on that one. And checking over in the chat room one more time, and Sean P. in the house tonight. Of course, so is ETV Sean P. I don't know if that's the same cat or not. Probably so, but I tell you, if you didn't see it this afternoon or this morning, depending on where you live, it was actually this morning where I live, this afternoon where Dakota lives, you missed one of the best road races on ETV Live here this afternoon or this morning. And Sean Pivick in the house with Sean Petchin calling the action from Silverstone Raceway. So I tell you, lots of good road racing action this morning, and fantastic multi-class race. So I tell you, there was stuff happening all over the track, all race long, 2-hour endurance race, and it was really a lot of fun to be a part of.
It was a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure. As I was watching it while taking some pictures and putting them on Facebook, it was a pretty interesting race.
All right, and watching the chat room over that was the same Sean. So Sean had a couple of computers going over there, logged in on both of them. I tell you what, he just can't get enough of this ETV.
Hey JD, you want to see something pretty scary?
What's that?
We're going to show 5 of Dakotas on the screen right now. A little overlay we're working on here. Try to give a little sneak peek. And, well, that's just too many Dakotas. As much as I love the kid, that's too many of them.
All right, that is Dakota Airman. That's just a little sneak peek on the next project that we're working on. We'll be able to get individual photographs of each one of your favorite drivers up there for top 5s when we bring them up. So just another project ongoing here at ETV Live. I tell you, go ahead.
I got the haircut. It doesn't look as bad anymore.
He got a haircut, yeah, absolutely. He was talking about that the other night when we were building that thing. So he did manage to get a haircut. So he looks halfway human now, I guess.
It's somewhat.
Do you put curlers in that hair, Dakota?
No.
Does your mom put curlers in that?
He's practicing for a baby sister.
Hey, come on, kid's only 15 years old.
We're just playing with you, Dakota.
We'll never tell.
I'll tell you what. Hey, you know, you get Dakota Irvin and Ben Kilcrease and even Michael Batman Keaton down there on pit road once in a while, Matthew Close. I'll tell you what, Cowboy, some of the best pit road action being called down there that I've ever heard. But to get ready to go back green here.
We did run into this situation, JD. They were supposed to pit at lap 10, so they're giving them 2 laps to pit here on the green flag start here.
You bet, and we're back racing one more time. You know, Mark Brown up in front with Chris Wright, Robert Pruitt, J.D. Baker, Adam Montecoya in that 74 machine for your top 5 up here. Going 3 wide into the turn here. The one up on the top 73 in the middle here, splitting the difference. On the bottom is going to be just a mess of cars. I tell you what, splitting the difference on the bottom, Robert Pruitt and his dancing partner, J.D. Baker, taking the lead. But 3 wide going into turn 2, guys. I'll tell you what, they got the job done there, and they just had a gaggle of cars in behind them as they come through turns 3 and 4 here, back around to the start-finish line.
JD, man, Michael Keaton, our own, watching him. He's up 5 spots. He's passing for 6 spots since the restart. He restarted last there, man. He is working through the field in a hurry.
Big time Cowboy trying to overcome that black flag. That black flag got being served because he jumped the start from the beginning. So I'll tell you what, looking to earn it back up here, starting from the pole. But coming around the backstretch now, this will be the second time around, so they should be pitting here on lap 12, guys. Mandatory pit stop, 4-tire change. So we'll see who's who when they hit pit road.
Yeah, I think you saw everybody fighting for the bottom on that on the backstretch. But it looks like there's a few guys kind of just tussling in the back for position. You saw the 73 going backwards as we see everybody coming down pit road this time.
Everybody coming down pit road as the 14 almost doesn't make it. Getting on the binder, smoke coming out from the tires there, guys. I'll tell you what a gaggle, what a traffic jam. Looks like the 405 at 5 o'clock, Cowboy, heading down pit road. They must take 4 tires here, and I'll tell you, if you're going to take 4 tires, you might as well fuel it up. But I know some guys probably won't take the fuel. They want to lighten the load here a little bit. 31 truck up here. Steven Dotson, a little cockeyed in his pits. I wonder if he's going to get black flag, as I don't know that all four hooves are sitting inside the corral zone there, Cowboy. But looks like first one out. Adam Mostakoya to the line here, but right in front of him, it looks like Robert Pruitt's going to beat everybody out.
JD, I'm kind of wondering, Emil Aduna, he kind of looks like he drove down pit road, maybe stopped in a stall, but I didn't see tires, and he was out awfully quick, and Chris North also.
We got one in the wall here, making the transition from the apron to the track here. That's going to be the number 20 machine of Bruce Boyer, guys. There's a caution coming out here on the track again. I believe this is going to be for the 20 machine of Bruce Boyer, trying to make the transition from the track, and he gets pounded again. I got to back this one up and take another look at it here. He trying to make the transition, Dakota, from the apron up to the track, and just a little bit too much throttle coming up. And goes up, hits the wall, gets spun around backwards, goes back down the track again, and then just gets pounded by the 73 machine, Mark Brown. So caution number 2 coming out here at Daytona with some damaged trucks.
Yeah, and that really is going to upset some people. But, you know, there's always next round that they're getting ready for, and I'm pretty sure they probably brought some more cars and put them in a hauler if it's all for fun.
You bet. Tell you what, bring all the sheet metal you can to this one, Cowboy. Shootout here at Daytona. This is the Hot Rod Racing All-Star Race, and this is where they just let it all hang out. So tell you what, second caution here at Daytona in the first segment. 20 machine bringing it out. 73 heavily involved. In fact, I think the 73 might have pulled the parachute. But John, what do you got?
Let's take this back to the 14 at Emil. I'm not sure he even got into his box on pit road, guys. I mean, unless he pitted towards the back, I just seen him drive straight through, so I'm not sure what the officials are going to do on this. Was it just to drive through pit road, or was it do you have to make a pit stop?
No, the rules state that they have to pit, take 4 tires, and that's regardless of position or lap. So it's a mandatory 4-tire stop. So if he didn't take 4 tires, then that to me sounds like a rules violation.
I'm not sure if we're going to see a penalty here on that, but we do see him coming down pit road currently.
All right. Emil Aduna in a 14 truck coming down pit road. However, that is under caution, so that's kind of a freebie there. Don't know what the officials would say about that even. I mean, understandably, you got to come down pit road and get the 4 tires like the rule states. However, don't believe you're supposed to do it under caution. Now, take a look at the number 73 machine sitting in his pit box down there, Cowboy. I'll tell you what, they've already used about 6 fire extinguishers down there, and that thing is just smoking to beat the band.
Well, JD, I think we have an admin up here to make the call. I think Ron Day, our own, is up here to clarify on the situation with the 14.
Hey guys, thanks for taking me real quick. Talking about the 14 of Emil Duna and the 82 of Chris North. Both of those guys missed their pit stall under that green flag pit stop right there. So they're just going to end up getting an EOL. So they'll go to the back because they would have been at the back anyway. But so that'll clear everything up for those. But other than that, I think these guys did a pretty good job getting on pit road right there in the green. What do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, always something to keep your eye on. Pit Road down there, on that stretch coming off of turn 4, make that transition and approaching a pit road. I mean, you're doing 190 miles an hour. You got to whoa that pony up. That commit line's a 55-mile-an-hour marker right there. So good job by all these guys getting down off the track onto the apron, whoaing that baby up, getting into the pits. But I'll tell you what, a couple of cautions coming out here, guys. Second one on lap 13, 20 car involved with the 73 with a late hit. So and I think the 73, Mark Brown, still sitting down there on pit road, guys. Major damage to that machine, and he may possibly be done for the night. But let's take it back over to Ron Day. Ron Day, earlier in the race, caution comes out on lap 7. But, well, I guess Ron went ahead and hightailed it out of the booth, probably going downstairs looking for a hot dog stand.
Yeah, I heard something. I'm not sure. He was hungry. That was for sure. It was like a mumble.
All right.
And JD, 3 trucks slid down pit road here, and I think 2 of those was probably from that penalty that Ron Day was talking about, but the 3rd truck did come down. And the one that was cooking hamburgers and hot dogs for us on pit road, he's gone. So he's either back out on the track or he retired.
Well, you know, they're probably getting ready for round 2. I mean, you know, it's coming up. They've got about 10 laps left of this race, and probably about 8 to 9 when we go back green. So you might as well get ready now while you can.
Yeah, and looks like the number 73, Mark Brown, having to push that truck behind the wall, and going to call it a night here. As they pretty much exhausted all of their fire extinguishers here, trying to put that fire out under the hood of that 73 truck. But tough night for Mark Brown here at Daytona. This is Hot Rod Racing's all-star race here. 2 25-lap segments, 1 10-lap segment at the end. Tell you about that here in a minute. The first one underway right now. We're about 10 laps or less than 10 laps, 9 or so laps away from checkered flag. Mandatory caution flag on lap 12 because of the caution on lap 7. A little bit of issue with the 14 machine. Went past his pit box and had to come back around and get the forced tire stop. However, that did happen under caution. Didn't have a chance to ask Ron Day about that, but I guess we're all square there. Now, segment 2 comes, and after this race, the top 10 will be inverted before segment 3, and then, of course, segment 3 will be a 10-lap shootout. No cautions, Cowboy. They're going to tell the flagman to, you know what, put the flags down, go home, you're off for the night. And then we're good to go for some balls to the walls racing here at Daytona.
They're going to let them put on the boxing gloves too, ain't they, JD?
There you go. Strap them on tight, Cowboy, because it's coming.
Tell you what, just outside the top 5 there. No, actually cracking the top 5 here is Michael Keaton.
Back in the saddle again, Cowboy. I tell you what, how's that? Going from a lap down, being black flag from the green flag start to this thing here tonight. Having to serve his penalty, goes a lap down, gets it back under caution. Now sitting in the top 5 here on this restart. So that ought to make Amber Keaton happy. She's in the house tonight watching her brand spanking new husband do his thing out here at Daytona tonight. So welcome along for the ride tonight, Amber.
She needs to take it easy on him because he's been sounding awful tired lately, JD. So I'm not sure if she's just whooping him into shape or what the deal is, making him do all the laundry and the dishes, windows. I don't know, JD.
Well, I don't know. You know, Michael said something about the other day that he had to take her out for driving lessons. That new vacuum cleaner, passed the keys on over to her, and I guess she gets to drive the vacuum cleaner around now, huh?
Well, right. Maybe I hope he drives the vacuum better than he drives the Batmobile.
You bet. Well, I've had about 4 or 5 words with Amber. She's a sweetheart, and I'll tell you, it was more like "Hi, JD," and then it was "Goodbye, JD." That's about all I've heard out of her so far. But I'll tell you what, she is a sweetheart. getting ready to get this thing going one more time. Pace car going to make that left-hand turn going down pit road. This time out in front of Rob Pruitt, Adam Montecoya, J.D. Baker, Steven Dotson, Michael Keaton. Your top 5 up here, but let's not count out Randy Collins. He'll be up on the outside in that number 6 machine as we get the green flag back to racing at Daytona.
We got double file here quite a ways back. It looks like everybody got a pretty good restart there. And like before, we've seen the last 2 restarts, the back of the field didn't get a great restart, and they maybe fall back a little bit, but it looks like they're staying with them this time.
That number 02 machine of Jamie Haley up here in 10th position, guys, up on the top here. Of course, remember he got that e-ticket ride here a little while ago, brought that caution out, and he's working to try to get that machine back up towards the front here. But I'll tell you what, up in front of him is a gaggle of trucks, the 31 car truck of Steven Dotson up on the top, trying to work with the 74 of Adam Montecoya, get something going. But I tell you what, going backwards here a little bit, as it looks like Pruitt and Pruitt and Baker pretty much running away with it up here. 19 laps in the book, so we're getting down the wire.
Yeah, and see J.D. Baker just coming up a little bit for air, probably. He started second. He's running second. J.D. Baker looking strong. As you see Michael Keaton closing the gap. He's trying to get out there and get a little racy with him, J.D.
They'll come through turns 3 and 4 here and head on back down the straight, the front straight here through the trial. That'll put 20 laps in the books with 5 to go here at Daytona. The Hot Rod Racing All-Star Race, and I tell you what, this is a let them all hang out here type of race. This is for bragging rights and a few iRacing bucks here at the Hot Rod Racing. So Adam Montecoya, I'm just going to call him Adam, in that 74 machine, starting to slip backwards here a little bit as Michael Keaton works his way up past one more position up here, showing him in 3rd. But I tell you, he's working that top side, Dakota, and he's got a little bit of help coming off that 25, Doug Easterday.
Yeah, and that outside, I mean, if you look at 3 cars up there pushing up front, that outside's going to be really hard to go anywhere. But you're going to see everybody in the bottom kind of stack up, and I think that's where you're going to see when the 5 gets hot and he has to back off or pull out for air. You can see the outside really come up pretty quick.
4 to go when they hit the line, and I'll tell you, 2 trucks are a lot lighter than 10 trucks down there on the bottom, so we'll see at the 25 and the 07 machine can't put their machines forward here a little bit, but a little bit of upset up here in front. 25 having to back off the throttle quite a bit here. Looks like they might have been getting out of shape. Now he's getting past, so Batman losing his help. But I tell you, you know, it looks like Michael is doing the right thing. He's running right close to the cars down on the bottom down there, trying to work that side draft. So I tell you what, even losing that truck behind him, Dakota, he's doing it smart. He's working that side draft off those cars down in that bottom lane down there. Oh, and it gets, slam, big wreck happening right here on the front stretch, guys.
Michael Keaton and the 9 got together. I think it's the 9 of Doug Ware.
Yeah, I'm rolling it back here again, and coming off of turn 4, guys, the 07 machine cutting it close down here, but it looks like the 09 might have just kind of wobbled back and forth there a little bit. And then up into the 07 machine, that's going to be Michael Keaton, who was working hard trying to get it back, and which created the big one here at Daytona. That one took out a number of cars.
There's a lot of cars involved in that. I think the top 3 are maybe the only cars that actually did not get touched there. And then also Ron Day was in the back just riding around out of the draft.
Yeah, Big Bad John's got it up on the replay over here on the broadcast. And I'll tell you what, just a mass of metal going around in circles up here on the rewind.
JD, I'm not sure, but that might be the race, actually.
Yeah, we'll have to see here as these guys start. Now we've got a few of them coming down pit road. Of course, that's going to be damage repair here, guys. So there's a good chance that this may end under caution here. 22, actually 23 laps in the books. I know they make it a one-lap shootout here.
Yeah, this is just a massive wreck here, guys. I'd say about everybody in the field but 2 cars. And I thought I'd seen a 22 out there, but I'm not seeing a 22 in the race. He looks like he's going to take the most damage up there on that outside wall.
Wow, would you look at that? Somebody start the music. I see a dance happening right there in the tri-oval. Man, look at those guys all paired up, dancing away. Yeah, looks like the 31 machine took a massive hit as he goes back end into the wall right down the start-finish line. So massive amounts of damage to a lot of sheet metal here at Daytona, guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, if this race is called official, well, I think we'll have Robert Pruitt, our winner, J.D. Baker in second, and Randy Collins in third, followed by Michael Keaton and Emil Aduna.
Yeah, Michael Keaton may come out of this thing with a top 5 finisher after all. I tell you, after going down a lap, black flag right at the start of the race for jumping the green flag, has to come in, serve a penalty, goes down a lap, earns it back on the first caution of the night on lap 7, and then races his way from the back to the front. I'll tell you what, that's a pretty good driving there. And we're watching the pace car here real close, guys. 23 laps in the books. When he crosses the line, it'll be 24. If the lights go out, we'll have a one-lap shootout. But I got a funny feeling that this thing may be over, Dakota. And the pace car passes the line. The lights are staying on, so I believe this is going to be an official race, guys.
Yep, and it looks like we have Robert Pruitt, our winner, and that top 5, how I read it off, J.D. Baker, Randy Collins, Michael Keaton, and Jamie Haley. Emil Iduna came back from that EOL at the start of that run, and he's going to finish 6th there. Chris Wright in the number 1 is going to finish 7th. Doug Benware in the number 9 is going to be put in 8th. Adam Monsteoka 9th, and then Troy McLean 10th in the number 2 car.
And Robert Pruitt in that 24 machine up in front. He's going to pick up $5 in iRacing credits here tonight for winning the first segment here at Daytona, first 25-lap segment. Hot Rod Racing's All-Star race. Second segment coming your way, and they'll have to do some monkeying around with the server here a little bit, guys. So we'll probably wind up taking a kind of an extended break as they get things prepared for the second segment. Of course, drivers need to step out of their cars, use the facilities, and get something to drink, a little snack or two, and whatever before we get rolling again. But segment 2, 25 laps, Dakota. Top 10 will be inverted before segment 3, and then of course segment 3 after the second segment, it'll be a 10-lap shootout with no cautions. They're going to tell the flagmen to pack it in for the night, take the rest of the night off, cowboy. We don't need no yellow flags for the rest of it.
Yeah, I think inverting that's going to make it 10 times more interesting. And here's something I think John will agree with me here. I think the 24 is a victory lane because he's from Indiana.
There you go.
What's that song that Jim Neighbors sings all the time? Let's see. How does it start? How does it go, John? Can you sing the first verse for us?
No, I'm not Gomer Pyle, sorry. That's another channel.
Oh, that's another channel. All right, 25 laps in the book, so that's going to make it an official race. So Robert Pruitt taking home the $5 in iRacing credits here tonight with J.D. Baker, Randy Collins, your top 3 finishers here, and a good effort by that 07 machine, Michael Keaton. All right, you guys work themselves down the backside of the track here, down the backstretch here. We'll see if we can get some time with our top 3 finishers here at Daytona, and then Dakota, we're going to go ahead and step away and take a little bit of a break. Turn it over to our pre-race entertainment HD radio network, and I'll tell you, Hard Driving Radio, big-time sponsors for the pre-race entertainment here at ETV Live. Let you listen to some rock and roll here while the race officials get ready for the second 25-lap segment here at Daytona for Hot Rod Racing League. And as we get set to do that, I want to remind you that tomorrow night, not quite sure if this is going to come off or not, but we are scheduled to be at Infineon tomorrow night with Real Sim Racing. That'll happen at 9:30 p.m. Taking a break on Tuesday night. Back in the saddle again on the 27th on Wednesday night with Paint the Yellow. We've done some work for these guys in the past, so getting ready for that one too. I believe that one will start at 8:30 p.m. right here live on ETV Live. And then on the 28th, hey, we got some dirt action coming your way. It's going to be the Knoxville Nationals from I believe that's Dirt Sim Series, if I'm not mistaken. But that'll be happening on Thursday night. All right, and I'll tell you what, as we watch Robert Pruitt celebrating down there on the start-finish line, we've got him in victory circle. Robert, it looks like $5 in iRacing credits going to be credited to your account after this one here tonight. Tell us about that first 25-lap shootout.
I tell you, it was pretty crazy there a couple times. That first caution, I was right behind them 2 guys that got loose, and it was looking a little squeezy there, but we made it through, and definitely couldn't got here without J.D. Baker there. He's really helped me out a lot there tonight.
All right, I'll tell you what, we got another 25-lap segment coming up, but are you set for that one? Any surprises?
Well, we're racing here at Daytona.
Secret weapons?
Yeah. I'm just going to keep her to the mat and see what happens here. You never know. Like Doug and Ron for putting these things on. They do a good job every week. And you guys for coming on board and helping us out. And you guys do a heck of a job. I'd like to get everybody, if they could, to Google Viper Designs for me. He does a good job over there making some schemes. You guys check that out. But it's been a lot of fun. I hope it continues.
Outstanding. I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and cut you loose. I know you got a lot of work to do. Get ready for that second set. Good luck to you, my friend. Congratulations again.
All right, guys. You can take her easy.
All right, I'm going to send on over to Dakota Erman, and he's standing by with J.D. Baker.
Yeah, here with one of my old buddies here. J.D., you started second, and I saw you guys were working on the radio together, you and Robert Pruitt, who ran first, and he said it was a big part of you. You were a big part of him running up front. What was the teamwork there to keep you 2 up front?
Man, I just trying to stay behind him, keep the motor cool, and never had to do any swapping around or anything. Just took it easy there at the beginning, let things kind of shake out, get through that pit stop, see how things worked out, and it's worked in our favor actually. So hopefully we can keep it going in the segments here to come.
All right, JD, and were you kind of concerned if it would have stayed green that you might have had to switch or you might have got caught back in traffic? Do you think you guys could have stayed up front?
There wasn't too much going on the high side there. Actually, 1 lap before the caution came out, I started getting a bit hot and backed off of him a bit and was watching in the mirror to see if anybody put anything together there on the high side, but it never happened, so I was content with staying where we were by all means. So.
All right, JD. Well, good luck to you guys in the second segment, and hopefully you guys run well, and we can see you guys again.
All right, Dakota. Thanks, guys.
We're going to throw it on down hit road again. I think we're going to throw it back down to JD, who was caught up with 3rd place.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's quite a run from Victor Circle on down pit road here. 3rd place finisher tonight, Randy Collins. Tell you what, I believe you started 17th, but through 3 cautions, worked yourself up to the front. Tell us about your race, buddy.
Oh, I had a blast. I was just kind of, thinking maybe they might mess a few things up here and there, but the guys did pretty good. that was a pretty wild pit in there after the caution, so that was a blast. Had a good pit out and made up a few spots and just kind of hung in there, made the right moves. I was hoping we'd go back to green, though.
You know, it's always fun to see those green-white checkered shootout, you know, at least to give you a couple of laps to get the job done. But I tell you, you know, working through the 3 cautions, how did you manage to stay out of trouble?
I just kind of, you know, make sure I didn't stick my nose in the wrong place, be patient and stuff like that. I think Michael pulled out and decided to stay with JD and Robert, and there, if it would have went back green, I would kind of break up that dynamic duo a little bit and see if I could fight for a winning position there.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, congratulations. A good, solid third-place run for you there. First segment in the books here at Daytona. We're going to get set for the second segment, 25 laps coming up. But right now, we're going to turn it back over to HD Radio Network for a little pre-race entertainment, rock and roll, Cowboys. So don't wander off. We'll be back.
The silence can be so kind. You always help me find my way. The love that we share grows stronger each day. Just between you and me, baby, I know our love will be. Just between you and me, always I know our love will be. Entre toi et moi means that our love will always be. Just between you and me, baby, I know our love will be. Just between you and me. I found a picture of you. Oh, what hijacked my world at night. To a place in the past we've been cast out of. Oh, now we're back in the fight. We're back on the train. Back on the chain gang. Circumstance beyond our control. The phone, TV, and the news of the world. Got in the house like a pigeon from hell. From sand in our eyes and descended like flies. Put us back on the train. Back on the chain gang. The powers that be, the forces to live like we do, bring me to my knees when I see what they've done to you. But I'll die as I stand here today, knowing it deep in my heart life of a lonely heart. Now we're back on the train. Oh, back on the chain gang.
All right, and we are back live here, getting ready for the second segment here at Daytona Speedway, Cowboy. First segment, 25 laps in the books. And I'll tell you what, we had 3 cautions there, one on lap 7, lap 13, lap 21. Late caution, ended under caution, under yellow. And getting ready for this second set here.
Yeah, and I guess the cool part about this is they're going to start the field, I believe, how it ended last race. So it's just going to be your top field from last race.
Robert Pruitt coming back, winning the race under caution. The first segment, going home with the $5 and iRacing credits from that first segment. J.D. Baker, Randy Collins, Michael Keaton, Jamie Haley, Dakota, your top 5.
Yeah, and then Emil Iduna sitting 6th, Adam Monsteoka, Troy McLean, Steven Dodson, and Luke Zeich, your top 10.
And then starting 11th will be Doug Benware, and then 12th, Chris Wright, Doug Easterday, Keith Johnson, Chris North, Mark Brown, Bruce Boyer making out your field here as we get set to go here one more time. Now, this 25-lap segment, no mandatory caution, and then at the end of this race, the top 10 gets inverted for segment 3, which will be a 10-lap shootout. No caution. Send the flag man home, Cowboy, as we get set to go green flag here right now.
JD, I think the biggest fight for position is going to be for 10th and 7th. First place and third place, because they're going to be the first 2 to get lined up in the next race.
And starting in 4th tonight, as they put the hammer down, is going to be Michael Keaton. Remember, he got black flagged on the first segment, right on the first lap there, for jumping the green flag. No chance of doing that tonight, Cowboy, but he's right now pushing on J.D. Baker up here, who had a solid finish in that first segment here. So round 2 underway at Daytona.
I wouldn't be surprised here if JD just kind of drops down. You know, that is his teammate below him. I don't know that he'll bring Michael Keaton all the way around. As I might have spoke too fast. He's going to stick with Keaton. Is it clear? And Keaton's going to go underneath the JD Baker.
Keaton drop underneath J.D. Baker for the lead here. Keaton's going to pick up, looks like Robert Pruitt. And tell you what, deals are being made up there on the spotting tower here. Oh, this is the 24 car tangles with the apron line down there. That's going to put him out of position. And here comes the rest of the field here. 27 car Randy Collins takes a position behind 07 now. I'll tell you what, you tangle with that apron line down there, and that is absolutely no man's land, Dakota.
Yeah, for sure. And as we saw last race, that apron line can be very dangerous, and it can be very difficult to hang on to.
Absolutely. We saw what happened there on the last caution. On lap 21, I believe it was a 9 truck, got tangled up with that apron line, and then, of course, took out about the entire field behind them. But 2 laps into books here, 3 when they crossed the start-finish line. Randy Collins and Rob Pruitt up in, or Michael Keaton up in front here.
Yeah, I'll tell you, on the outside lane, that's 3 teammates right there working the outside. Your winner from last race in 2nd place. And 14, I actually know him to work with the 5 and the 24 up there. So that's 3 teammates on the outside. Then you have Michael Keaton on the inside with his buddy in the 27.
But in the house with us tonight for this segment, like Ron Day. I heard the back door open and close there, but Ron Day joining us up here in the booth for race number 2, Carlos.
Yeah, man, just had some technical difficulties in that first segment right there with truck. Our team's been working on it really hard. There's something in the steering column not giving us full speed in that truck, so we were about 8 miles an hour slower than we were supposed to be. So, and while we were working on it, we missed the start of this race right there. We're going to be back in action and ready to go for that 10 lap segment next in here in the next couple of minutes.
All right, you know, we've been watching Michael Keaton here tonight. Of course, he got kind of messed up in that first race. Black flag for jumping the restart, brought it back for a top 5 finish, but this time no mistakes here out of that 07 machine as he started here 4th and, of course, worked himself up to the front. So we keep an eye on that situation up here. But I'll tell you what, 4 laps in the books here at Daytona, and we've got about 21 more laps to go for round number 2 as the 24 machine, pushed by the 5, comes up to challenge for the lead up there on the top.
And I'll tell you what, I'm watching 2 cars in the very back, way out of the draft. I'm not sure what they're doing strategy-wise here, but they're not pushing together. They're not trying to catch the draft.
Batman going around. The 07 going around up front. Started. Oh, big wreck happening right here in turn 2, guys. They are absolutely flying all over the place, up in the air. Virtually every truck in the field involved in this caution right here on lap 5. Wow, you talk about selling some e-ticket rides here at Daytona. Batman, Michael Keaton tangling with that apron line down there, coming through turn 4. The 24 machine also getting out of shape up on the wall. Why don't we throw it on down to the bad boy, John Wessling, for the rewind.
Hey, guys. Then we can see what happened here. We're going to follow Randy Collins. I believe that's the 27 machine. He's going to end up rolling over and over and over again. He's going to take the most damage out of this. And it looks like it all starts down at, actually there's a dual wreck, the 07 on the outside and Michael Keating on the inside. I'm not sure who made contact or if I want to try and dissect this, but this 27 truck, you're going to end up seeing him just barrel roll as he gets knocked into the outside wall, guys. Wow, what a mess.
Yeah, I was watching that too, JD. I think part of what happened, it looks like the 24 was getting such a big push from the 5. He was kind of wiggly going down into the corner, and he just drifted down and made contact with the 07. You know, there's nothing that Michael could have done right there. He was just minding his own business, and didn't quite work out for him.
Well, the 24 is going to end up with the lead here, you guys, with Keith Johnson and the 68, and then the 9 behind him.
Yeah, at 197 miles an hour, there's not a whole lot you can do but let go of the steering wheel, close your eyes, and hang on for the ride, cowboy.
Something interesting about this incident, though, guys, is that we're going to invert. I said we were going to invert the top 10, but you know, only the lead lap cars that are in the top 10. So if there's only 7 cars on the lead lap at the end of this segment, then the person who finished 7th is going to be the leader going into the 10 lap segment here at the end of the night.
All right, something interesting for sure, and it looks like Michael Keaton. Looks like the 07 has been forced to park his ride for the night, guys. Too much damage on that 07 machine. Let's see if we can't get Michael Keaton on the radio, Dakota, and find out what happened up there in the front. Well, I'll tell you what, that throws a big mix into the works here at Daytona tonight. As we get a bunch of them coming down pit road. Of course, that's going to be damage repair down there here at Daytona. But Michael, JD, and Dakota up here in the booth here tonight, partner. You got us up here?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, bud. You know, from the back to the front in segment 1, segment 2, you started out in 4th. Things were going pretty good. You worked yourself up to the front. What happened?
Well, the first segment, you know, I got the black flag there, and I was kind of irritated because I didn't realize that jumping the start would give me the black flag, so I just buckled down and caution come out, got a little lucky, and then got back on the lead lap, finished 4th, got in a wreck too, though, right before the end of the race, so I was probably all around lucky. And in this race, wow, did any car not get a scratch on it in that wreck?
Yeah, actually, I think the one and the one and I can't remember who else it was. But
I think it was the 20.
Right in the back of the draft. Yeah, possibly the 20.
Yeah, I went back and watched it several times. It was that was just like the the big one, I guess, early on, but took a lot of drivers out. But they're gonna do some interesting stuff, invert the field, top 10, and that kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to see how the segment 3 kind of rolls out.
And Michael, the position you were in right there, you were the leader, like you said, and you were racing hard for the lead up there. Those guys had a good run. But there, I mean, looking back on it, if you could have done it again, is there anything you could have done different to try to avoid that, or was it just one of those things that happened so fast?
No, Ron. I was just, it's kind of like, you're just looking straight ahead, and then all of a sudden, it just happens out of nowhere. It happens so fast, you just can't do nothing. And if I would have looked over the shoulder or something and seen him so close, then I could have turned the wheel to the left harder, to kind of escape being turned maybe. But just because I'm just going straight and looking straight, there was nothing really I could do. I don't think anybody could have avoided that wreck. And 17 people involved. You figured that out yourself. I mean, everybody was involved in that wreck. Except the pace car.
Except, yeah, pace car still looking pretty sharp up there. But I'll tell you what, Chris North, we get the restart here again. Chris North and Chris Wright, Luke Zeich. Well, now there's a combination. Chris North, Chris Wright, Luke Zeich. Is that a tongue twister right there or what? But Bruce Boyer, Doug Benware, your top 5 on the restart here as the pace car brings them down off of turn 2 down the backstretch to come.
Yeah, that taking a lot of trucks. I was just listening and kind of peeking around the little radio channels. I have a little dial right here, and there's not many cars I think they can get back out there. So I think you're looking here. I believe there's Troy McLean trying to get back up to the field, but I don't think that we have maybe 6 or 7 cars out here, JD.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, I'm looking at Randy Collins. He's in that 27 machine, John. If you can get your camera on, he's on the apron right now. He just come out of pit road. Not sure if he's trying to make it back out on the track or not, but it's going to be questionable whether he's going to even be able to get that truck up to speed. Kind of crab walking down through the apron down here as he attempts to make his way back into the mix here at Daytona and try to complete this thing with all 4 tires on the ground. But I'll tell you what, pace car already approaching a pit road up here. It'll make that sharp left-hand turn, that sharp and quick left-hand turn. I'll tell you what, if you're not buckled into that thing, it'll probably give you a whiplash. But here we go. Chris North going to pick up the green flag for the restart. So let it all hang out, Cowboy. 8 laps in the books. Here we go, one more time.
On that restart, it looks like the 03 almost brake checked, or the 9 thought he was going to go a little bit earlier, and the 9 getting in a little bit of trouble. He's going to fall back, and I think some of the inside line's going to go with him there, JD.
You bet. I'll tell you what, they're already tangling with the apron line up in front of the 9 car. Doug Benware watching all that happen out of his windshield. It looked like Luke Zeich in that 3 machine, that 03 machine, kind of tangled with that apron line down. And that's, you don't want to do that here at Daytona. And there's a reason for that double yellow line down there. That's a big warning sign because the track is actually flat down there on the apron. And when you cross that line down there, that is such a sudden transition that I'll tell you, at 190 miles an hour, it's like jumping off of a cliff without a parachute, Cowboy. So you don't want to tangle with that yellow line down there. But to losing some time, Luke Zeich now falling back from the leaders. Of course, the 2 best machines up there probably for the rest of the night in segment 2 is going to be that number 1 machine of Chris Wright and Chris North in the 82 truck, which were virtually untouched, I believe, from that caution, Dakota.
Yeah, JD, I was talking about that right before that wreck happened. I was not sure what was happening. The 1 and the 82 were not pushing before that caution, and they were pretty far out of the draft, and I kind of see why now.
I'm all the way back here with, in 9th position back here, the 74 machine of Adam Montecoya. He's only able to do about 136 miles an hour, guys, so it won't be long, Cowboy, before they come back around to pick up Adam Montecoya and put him down for a 2nd lap. In behind him, Keith Johnson, Emil Dunas sitting in the pits trying to get that thing repaired and back out on the track. And leaving pit road is Stephen Dodson, John. If you want your camera on that one real quick, Stephen Dodson's truck. I tell you what, Cowboy, You got to give these guys credit. I mean, lots of heart here. Stephen Dawson with that truck just absolutely tore up. Going to make his way back up on the track and see what he kind of he can gather out of this thing before it's over with.
Yeah, guys, I really wish iRacing would fix that. I mean, that's not even close to realistic.
I tell you. But, you know, with Stephen Dawson trying to give it the old college try in the 31 machine, just can't do it. You talk about the little engine that could puff, 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 and then out she goes. So Stephen Dawson not able to complete segment 2 here at Daytona. In the meantime, out in front, it's the Chris North, Chris Wright show up here in the front, Dakota.
Yeah, and I believe they pulled out to about a 1.5 lead here, JD, or close. And I think that second group is just starting to catch them as they're switching here. And I believe Chris Wright and Chris North not switching, but the back two are. I think the 9 and the 20 are the only 2 cars that can actually catch those leaders and maybe race them, JD.
Yeah, I think the 20 and the 9 might have come out of that unscathed, at least with minor damage as they try to work together here, kind of bouncing back and forth with each other. Bumper's awful slippery up there. Should have told the the pit crew to keep the wax off the bumpers up here. That just makes it worse when you try to get hooked up. But they are closing the distance on the leaders up here. But remember, all right, they're going to take the top 10 finishers out of this one, invert the field, starting the third segment. That's going to be a 10-lap shootout, Cowboy, telling the caution flag, the flagmen to take the rest of the night off. These boys are going to let it all hang out. So as Bruce Boyer and Doug Benware make their way right up to the bumper of Wright and North, game on, Cowboy, for segment 2.
What you're going to be looking at, JD, is it was going to be the top 10, but since as of right now there's only 8 cars on the lead lap. Now it looks like there's going to be 7 cars on the lead lap. It'll just be the 7 cars, like I said, that are inverted. So the top 10 cars that are on the lead lap, put it that way.
JD, you remember Stephen Dawson trying to get out on the track earlier, and the guy with a lot of heart and lack of a car, maybe, he was actually told to park it by the admins and officials of this race, JD.
You bet. 2-car battle up into a 4-car battle up in front here. I just get a post-it note handed to me by the cameraman, John, the bad boy, the legend Westling back here. And it's a battle up here for sure. 15 laps in the book, 25-lap shootout, 10 to go here, Dakota. And they're duking it out up here in the front.
What's a 9 getting a little all over the place there?
He's giving it all he's got, doesn't he, guys? But he's just got so much damage up there. He's not really, they're not that fast out front, and he can't push for too long because he's going to get so overheated from being up so close behind the 20. But man, they are trying. I think they get another good run like that, they may be able to clear those 2 guys.
Yeah, clear them's one thing, hoping that they don't come back is another.
That's right, you got to time it just right.
You bet. And getting back to the Stephen Dawson story, you know what? A lot of heart trying to get that thing back out on track and make up for it, but race officials probably doing the right thing, Dakota. I believe the 31 machine probably would have been more of a hindrance, more of a hazard out there on the track at 100 miles an hour, or not even 100 miles an hour. But it's a good thing that race officials told them to park it. Hey, no harm, no foul. Take the rest of the night off, Cowboy. You did a good job out there, but can't have you out there as a hazard on the track for the rest of it.
Yeah, as the leaders just came by Jamie Haley sitting 8th in the O2. I believe he's not sure how many laps down. He just went a lap down now as he just came off pit road, it looks like, JD.
You bet. Jamie Haley in 8th position. He'll be the last one in line, or actually already down a lap. It's going to be Robert Pruitt now, the last car in line. So you heard it from the race officials here, Ron Day. Top 7 cars, this field will be inverted. So if things ended right here, right now, Cowboy, Robert Pruitt would find himself back up on the pole in segment 3. And I believe Robert Pruitt won that second segment, if I'm not mistaken. Or that first segment,
Yeah, and his buddy, J.D. Baker, he's sitting out 10 laps down, and I don't think he's going to be able to get back in it, J.D.
All right, as Bruce Boyer and Doug Benwar start closing the distance on the leaders here again, I'll tell you what, giving it the old college try up here, the 20 and the 9 going to move to the top side up here. It almost looks like a little bit of blocking putting on there by the 82 machine. Ain't going to happen, Cowboy. As the 20 and the 9 get a run coming through the turn here, they're going to make it. All they have to do is drop down in front, occupy that space up in front, and they'll have it in the bag as they move up into the front.
JD, the one thing I'm not sure of is the 82 and the 1 have not switched, I do believe, the whole time they've been together, so I don't think they're running at full potential right now. John?
Yeah, Dakota, I was watching them very closely, and the 9 was behind the 20, couldn't keep the draft, so the 20 floated back and got behind the 9, which is heavily, heavily damaged, and they came flying through there like rocket ships. So as long as that 20 can stay behind that 9, I think they're safe, but at some point, they're going to have to break up and grab some clean air.
And JD, I think we're about to have 5 cars on the lead lap as the leaders are closing on 6th and 7th and 5th, 7th and 6th, excuse me.
You bet. I'll tell you what, you know, getting back around here, it'll be 5 laps to go here when they come back around. And going back to what John's talking about, you're absolutely right. How long is that 20 machine going to be able to stay in back of the 9 car? And then, of course, Chris Wright in that number 1 machine, how long can he hang out behind that number 82 truck before they got to make that swap? And I'll tell you, the 1 machine of Chris Wright and Chris North in the 82 car, they're losing time now to Bruce Boyer and Doug Benware. But remember, the 9 machine is slower in the behind as they make the swap. Now here we go. Keep an eye on what's happening up here, and that's exactly what was going to happen. The 9 car much slower on the pace here as Chris North and Chris Wright come motoring by. So back in the saddle again, the 20 and 9 going to have to go at it one more time as the laps start closing out here at Daytona.
Yeah, guys, and the timing might just be perfect on this. I mean, they did the swap. Going to be 5 laps to go here. Give them a couple laps to cool their machines back down, and then swap back. Put that 9 machine up front and that 20 behind, and they might have a chance to catch these guys and pass them one more time for the closing lap.
I'll tell you what, JD, more what I've saw is the 1 car's been hanging a few feet off that bumper, and I mean, you see in the corner right now, he's just pulling up, getting all kinds of air. I don't think they're running near as fast as they can, and they might have a little bit more for that 9 and 20 than they're showing.
Yeah, you might be right. 4 laps to go here at Daytona in the second segment, and here comes the 20 and 9 machine. As almost 20 machine, almost trying to get past on the bottom. Thinks twice about that one, Cowboy. Goes up to the top here. And, of course, Doug Benware can't keep up in the 9. The 9 is a little bit off the pace, a little bit of damage on that number 9 machine. Can't keep up with the 20. So here's a whole new strategy here, whole new scenario. Now the 9 has to catch up and make it up there with the 20 machine so they can get after the 1 and the 82. 3 laps to go here at Daytona, guys, and Luke Zeich in that 03 machine. He's the 5th place car, the last car on the lead lap. Now 30 seconds behind the leaders, and it's only a matter of time. I don't know whether he might get past or not, Dakota.
Possibly. I mean, it's him running by himself is just enough that, I mean, they could get there much quicker than what it looks like they can.
Ben Boyer peeking around the number 1 machine up here as they come out through the trial. We're going to go at it one more time up there, the 9 and the 20. The 20 out in front of the 9 here as they try to get past. Traffic ahead here. It'll be 3 wide coming out of turn 2 as they go past the lap down truck. 3 wide it is. I'll tell you what, the 82 and the 1 machine down there on the bottom, the 20 and 9 working together, going down the backstretch, hugging that bottom line, trying to work the draft off that bottom lane down there. So the 20 and the 9 trying to get there, Dakota. Will they make it? 2 laps to go.
I think I see him here. They're going to get a really good run. Oh, it was a 20. Just gets a little close there. The 82 and the 1, I mean, the 1 is still not completely pushing them all the way around. And, I mean, that was giving them the advantage. And I don't think the 1 could push very long because, I mean, as close as he is on Tim's probably, you might see him push the last lap all the way around. But I think the 24 and the 9 have the best shot at this right now.
You bet. I'll tell you what, Chris Wright jumping up there on the top, getting that fresh air back through the radiator of that truck up there. has to slam the door shut, tangles with the apron line down there, keeping that 20 off the bumper of the 82 machine up there. And now the 9 comes along, and they're going to upset the tandem up here. So here's their shot. 1 to go here. Actually, this is the final lap of the final of the 2 to go here. When they come around, it'll be 1 to go. And here goes Doug Benware in that 9 machine going for the lead up here in the front.
Ooh, as the 20 and the 1 keep getting together really hard. I don't know. It looks like the 1 might have got knocked a little sideways there. So 82 is trying to jump in behind the 9.
All right, this is it, Cowboy. This is for all the marbles here in the second segment. 1 to go here. This is the final one, white flag lap. And we had the 1 and the 82 were working together, the 20 and the 9 working together, split them up here last lap around. Doug Benware now working with Chris North, Bruce Boyer, Chris Wright tangling up here, heading down the backstretch. They're going through turns 3 and 4 here for the last time here tonight. Let's take a look up here in the front. Chris North and Doug Benware duking it out. The 82 machine looking high up on the top. The 9 doesn't have the horsepower to do it. The 82 is going to sail on by, and it'll be the 82 machine for the win here at Daytona for the second segment.
Look at that, the 1 almost gets to the 9 there. I mean, I'm not sure how close that was. It looks like it might have been almost less than a tenth of less than a tenth of a second there, JD, for just second place. That 1 made a comeback.
Wow, that was a pretty good finish there. And I'll tell you what, you know, a little bit of action happening here in the late in the race here, segment number 2. The 82, the 9, the 1, and the 20 putting on a pretty decent show up here, guys.
I'll tell you what, the luckiest guy on earth right now, that 03 of Luke Zyke, he was just a few feet from the leader. So I mean, another lap or two, and he might have gotten a lap down. So looks like we have the top 5 in the final heat here switched around here. Luke Zyke's going to be the pole sitter next race, and as our finishing order is Chris North in the 82 is going to win. We're going to have Doug Benware in the number 9 is going to come in second. Chris Wright in the number 1. We're going to be having scored third. Bruce Boyer in the number 24th, and Luke Zyke in the number 03 5th.
All right, as we get ready for segment number 3 here. Remember, segment number 3 is going to be a 10-lap shootout, no cautions. They're going to tell the flagmen to take the rest of the night off, Cowboy, as they get set for a 10-lap shootout. All right, as things wind down here at Daytona, and I tell you what, standing down here in Victory Circle with Chris Wright. Chris, I tell you, what a night here, coming back with $5 iRacing credits in your pocket for winning the segment 2 heat race here. Tell us about your run, bud.
Well, actually, it was me, Chris North, but I couldn't have done it without Chris Wright or my teammates. That was a blast.
All right, maybe I had it written down wrong. Was it Chris North that I thought it was Chris Wright that won the race? My apologies. But I tell you what, you know, that one big caution took a number of trucks out of the mix. Only 5 of them finishing on the lead lap, and I tell you, put you in a pretty good position up there for the win.
Yeah, me and my teammate, we were expecting it, so we kind of laid off a little bit so we can get up there. But fell right into her hands. Again, thanks to Troy, Jamie, Chris, and myself. We couldn't have done it without them.
All right, bud, and I'll tell you what, you got a 10-lap shoot-up coming up, and I understand that they told the flagman to take the rest of the night off. You ready for that?
10-4, I'm ready for it.
All right, I'm going to throw it on down to Dakota with our second-place finisher, bud.
Yep, here with Doug Benware, and well, almost barely third place. I mean, he was second place, but I mean, there was a good race for second right there. And how was your car? I mean, it looked pretty hurt there, Doug.
Yeah, I got damage on the first caution, and I was just trying to do my best for Bruce, trying to push him up there. I was okay pushing, and when I was leading, I felt like I was more of a parachute, so we made the switch. And then 2 or 3 laps to go, opportunity, door opened, and I decided to take it. Bruce kind of got hung out, and I just tried my best to hold everybody off, but I was kind of more in the way than anything.
Well, a good finish, damaged car. I mean, that was insane good. You guys were able to pull up, and I mean, you got there, and it seemed like you could do something with them, but I'm not sure. I mean, could you guys have, if you had another lap, would you been able to get back with your buddy and put yourself in victory lane possibly?
Yeah, we're trying to, put something together with the last 2 laps to go, but it seemed like the second place truck was kind of wide and kind of, messed things up there. And I just took whatever I could get towards the end. Next race, my truck's really fast. I've got a couple teammates that are really fast also. So if we can just stay clear of everything, we should be able to put on a good show for the next race.
All right, well, good luck to you next race. Hope to see you up there in the top few. So we're gonna throw it even further down pit road to JD again.
All right, and I'll tell you what, Cowboy, Chris, good solid third place finish up there. But I'll tell you what, working with your buddy up there, got separated here a little bit. Looked like some last lap action, some good action happened. Tell us about your run-up.
Well, it was really, really good, and I did my best to keep Chris out front, and I was pretty wide trying to keep the guys behind us, and it worked out. Missed the wreck, and it worked out.
All right, and I'll tell you what, that one caution took about half the trucks out, only 5 finishing on the lead lap one more time. What are your hopes for this 10-lap shootout?
A bulletproof car in victory lane. Me, my teammates, Chris North, who came away with the win, but Troy and Jamie got caught up in the wreck there. So hopefully one of us wins. Of course, I'm biased. I want it to be myself, but I'll help one of them if I can.
All right, bud, I know you got some work to do there on pit road. Congratulations again on a solid finish here in segment number 2. Hey, good luck to you in segment number 3 here, and we'll go ahead and cut you loose. All right, as race officials get things ready to roll here, is the crew here up in the booth needs to make some adjustments and get signed back in here a little. And while we're doing that, why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take a commercial break right here, right now, real quick. So, hey, don't wander off, Cowboy. We'll be back. All right, we are back here at Daytona waiting for to get the signal from race officials here, guys. We'll get this thing rolling here just momentarily. But Dakota, let's talk about the first couple of segments here. I didn't write down a caution on that last segment, but the first segment, 25 laps, mandatory pit stop, was supposed to happen on lap 10. We had a caution on lap 7. Of course, that negated the lap 10 mandatory pit stop. That happened on lap 12. And then, of course, you know, I believe it was right after that, lap 13, or lap 13, yeah, we had another caution come out, the 20 and the 73 getting involved, and then the race ended under caution for the first segment. Second segment, looked like everything was going pretty sweet, but then all hell broke loose.
Yeah, and I guess I got to hand it out to Chris Wright and Chris North, both of those guys. I mean, that was a really good strategy to hang back like they did and end up in the front. And I mean, it did them good to put one of them in victory lane and one of them third. And I think they're going to be lined up here, JD, on the start. They're going to be able to get hooked up right away. I mean, this is 10 laps. I don't think you can see any hanging back. No cautions. I mean, this is going to be balls to the walls, go.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, Cowboy, they told the flagmen, take the rest of the night off, Cowboy. Luke Zeich on the pole for this one, 10-lap shootout. Bruce Boyer up on the outside.
Yep, and looks like we're going to have Chris Wright starting third on the inside and Doug Benoit starting fourth on the outside.
Chris North, who did a fantastic job there with a good finish, solid finish in segment 2. He'll be starting in 5th position on the inside. On the outside of him in 6th, and that number 2 truck, Troy McLean.
On the inside of row 7, your round 1 winner, Robert Pruitt in the 24, and on the outside of him, Jamie Haley in number 02.
In the 68 truck, Keith Johnson. He'll be starting in 9th position, guys. On the outside, Adam Mostakoya in that number 74 machine in 10th.
In 11th place in the 14, Emil Aduna. And on the outside of him, his teammate, J.D. Baker.
Stephen Dawson will be starting 13th in that 31 machine. On the outside, Doug Easterday in the 25 truck in 14th.
Mark Brown going to start 15th on the inside. On the outside of him, our very own Michael Keaton in the number 07. And starting last here on the grid should be Ron Day in the number 53.
All right, then this is where they let it all hang out. $10 iRacing credit on the line for the winner. $5 to second place finisher tonight in a 10-lap shootout here at Daytona. And you're watching live, ETV Live. Ain't no better choice, Cowboy. And I'll tell you, this is the Hot Rod Racing League All-Star, kind of a fun, bragging rights only here tonight from Daytona International Speedway. So a little bit of trick things done to this starting. Of course, the front 5 cars were the last 5 cars in the on the lead lap in segment number 2. They're starting up in the front this time, so it's up to Luke Zeich in that 03 machine to pick that green flag up and take it to the checkers. We'll see what he can do with Bruce Boyer up there on the outside. Pace car getting ready to pick. Go ahead.
JD Ron D has not been able to get the issues with his truck fixed, and he will stay behind the wall for this race again.
Wow, that's upsetting. Ron Day unable to complete the third segment here as the green flag comes out. The 03 picks it up at 20 on the outside. We're back to racing here at Daytona.
A 1 going all the way down 3 wide as we head into turn 1. Looks like the 1's going to be able to take it away here, possibly. Bumping and banging already. We got a wreck back here.
Pinball machine up here in the front as they go 3 wide through turns 1 and 2, and now the 01 going around. No caution flags, guys. Remember, no cautions here, so this is for all the money here. I'm sorry, that wasn't the 01. I'm trying to look back here now and find out who that was, but tell you what, too late, Cowboy, for that action. But a lot of trucks damaged here on that one, guys. No caution. They told the flagman to go home here tonight. Luke Zeich with that was actually Luke Zeich that I was watching, your pole sitter. So he's got a significant amount of damage on the right, on the left rear of that machine. Bruce Boyer, who, go ahead, Dakota.
I'm not sure how this is going to end up, but the first 2 cars lined up are Chris North and Chris Wright teammates. The next cars on line are not even close to each other.
Wow. I'm going back to the restart here, guys, trying to figure out what happened. They were 3 wide going into turn 1, and then the 03 machine of Luke Zeich looked like a pinball machine bouncing in between in that middle lane up there, and he comes up, hits the 20 machine, around goes the 20 truck, and all hell breaks loose after that, Cowboy. So I'll tell you what, what a night.
Well, I guess this is what they asked for when they told the flagman to take the night off, JD.
Yeah, you know, it was my telemetry that was all messed up there. But you're absolutely right. Luke Zeich still hanging out, but he's back here in 4th place in that 03 machine. Chris Wright and Chris North, we'll just call it Chris and Chris up here and up front. Remember, those 2 did a fantastic job ending in segment number 2 here with good finishes, solid finishes. But Adam Mostakoya, who would be your 3rd place car tonight, he's about 3.8, let's call it 4 seconds behind Chris North. Luke Zeich with a very damaged truck, clear off the pace, 7 seconds in back of the leaders. So this could be just a ride to the finish for Chris and Chris.
Well, JD, you say it's a ride to the finish, and that's what they're doing. I mean, they're not pushing. The one's just kind of playing with this food here, you might say.
I see one of them reaching up, putting a CD in the old CD player on the dash. I'll tell you what, cruise control with Chris Wright and Chris North. But we'll see what happens, you know, when we get down to the last lap and see if these 2 are really dancing partners. But 4 laps in the books now. When they come back around here down the tri-oval, across the start-finish line, we'll be at the halfway point. Remember, 10-lap shootout here. And they did tell the flagman, hey, take the rest of the night off.
Yeah, the 82 and the 1 just changed for the lead. The 82 don't lead that lap as the 1 goes up the track, lets him go. He got a little loose when he did it, which kind of scared me. But hey, the way the 1's driving, his setup is kind of like a little out of control. This might not be over.
Yeah, it may not be, but we'll see what happens up there between the 1 and the 82. It's going to be pretty much up to them. Adam Mostakoya, who doesn't have any help at all. He's hanging on to a 3rd place run here, let's call it 5 seconds in back of the leaders here. Pole sitter on the 10-lap shootout here, Luke Zeich back here in 4th position. He's now 12 and a half, let's call it 13 now, 13 seconds behind as we get to 5 to go here at Daytona.
All right, JD, I got a newbie question here, because you know it's been a while since I've been in the booth, 2nd time. Now, will we classify that last wreck, that first wreck, as an e-ticket ride?
That's exactly right. That's an e-ticket ride.
All right. Well, it kind of looked like there was about 15. I want to say about 13 to 12 e-ticket rides at once.
You bet. I tell you what, Cowboy. That's not the kind of ride you find at Disneyland. That's one you want to hang on to. Chris Wright breaking off, heading down pit road. Chris Wright in the number 1 machine on lap 6, guys, heading down pit road. I wonder if there's got to be some kind of an issue, possibly an overheating issue with the number 1 machine. He breaks off of Chris North up here, going to let him hang out up here all by himself. 7 laps in the books. Now, I'm wondering, almost looked like it might have been a fuel stop, guys. Chris Wright in the pits, fueled up, back out on the track again.
JD, I'm seeing Chris Wright was black flag for passing below the yellow line a little earlier. I'm not sure, but I believe he was coming in to serve his black flag here.
Oh, and he's going around, trying to hang on to it, coming out of pit road, gets a little bit heavy on the gas pedal, almost spins it out on the exit here, coming off of turn 2. And I tell you what, that would have been deadly right there.
Well, JD, you think it's difficult getting on the pit road? You should see him trying to get off.
Yeah. And Chris North out here in the front, all by his lonesome, Cowboy. I'll tell you what, 2 to go here at Daytona. He might have this one in the bag. Adam Mostakoya is 9.9, call it 10 seconds behind him. But Chris Wright still about 7 seconds behind. No time to get there. I don't think he's going to have any time at all to try to get hooked up to Chris North up here. But
I'll tell you what Chris Wright's looking for. He's trying to get to the bumper, that 68 of Keith Johnson, so they can get hooked up and try and catch Luke Zeich before this thing's over. But he's a few seconds back. I'm showing 4 seconds back last time by, and I believe Keith Johnson might be a little off the pace. I'm not sure, but I don't think there's enough time for him to go get him anyway, JD.
No, there's not even enough time. 37 seconds off the pace up here. Chris Wright, who had to come down pit road, serve a black flag penalty for passing below the yellow line here. A little bit late for us to go back and take a look and see what that was all about. But with 2 to go here at Daytona, looks like it's going to be Chris North up here in the front. Now, checking backwards here a little bit, really no other battles going on here, as Chris Wright is only about, let's say about 0.5 of a second behind Keith Johnson, but there's just not going to be, I don't know if there's going to be enough time or not. But looks like the one car is closing the distance, so this will be for position here. It'll be 4th position here as he overtakes the 68 machine.
Well, JD, I think the 9's wanting to stay in the lead lap here as the 82 just lapped him. The 82 is on the white flag lap here, but the 9 just ran him back down. Looks like he might be he's going to go underneath to try and make it a race here, probably just in the line for looks here, JD. They're side by side going 2, 3, and 4, and this is not for position. I believe the 9's just trying to stay on the lead lap here as the 82 is going to come back. They almost made contact there, JD. It looks like the 9 is going to finish a lap down here, possibly, JD. Yep, and the 9 is going to finish a lap down. That'll be the race, the 82 in victory lane tonight, JD. I believe the 74 of Adam Monsteoka is going to be coming in second, and Luke Zeich in the 03 in third.
All right, what a battle here in the last segment here. 10-lap shootout here. Total caution the flag holders to go home for the night. Flagmen to go home tonight. No cautions here. And, of course, we did have the one big wreck, took out a number of cars, got them all separated. Chris North just basically walked away from the rest of the field. He had it in the bag with Chris Wright up there. Thought we might see a little two-truck shootout up here. Didn't happen. Chris Wright having to serve a black flag penalty, and which put him in the back. So it is over, Cowboy, for the Hot Rod Racing League All-Star Race here at Daytona. So I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and take a commercial break right here, right now, and we'll get ready and bring you a post-race show with our winners. So don't wander off. We'll be right back. All right, we are back live here, ETV Live at Daytona International Speedway. I'll tell you what a night of fun here tonight. It's just for bragging rights, a little bit of cash, iRacing credits on the line here at Daytona for Hot Rod Racing's All-Star Race. We had 2 25-lap shootouts up here at the beginning. Of course, the first one, mandatory pit stop on lap 10, happened on lap 12. And the last segment, guys, lap 10, we just got through watching that one, 10-lap shootout, told the flagman, take the rest of the night off, Cowboy, we're going to let it all hang loose, and that's exactly what they did. Chris North in victory lane down here, standing there with a big wide grin on his face. He's going to collect $15 in iRacing credits. He's got 5 for the first win. Chris, 10 for the second win here. Tell us about your race tonight in that last segment.
Well, the restart there was crazy. I saw it go 3 wide, and my teammate took the lead there, and I was right behind him and followed him through. Then he got black flagged, and I don't know if he's going to protest that or not, but that was crazy, guys.
Yeah, we understand that we couldn't get to race officials in time for this thing. Of course, it was a quick race, but you're absolutely right. Chris Wright being black flag. Early word, unofficial word, was that he had passed somebody under the car, under the yellow line, possibly during the wreck. I don't know, but I'll tell you what, you got to be smiling from ear to ear, going home with the paycheck here tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. I just wish it was a better race for everybody. I think I won by, 11 seconds. So, just I would like to thank everybody who put on the race, and we'll get them next week.
Hey, that's some bragging rights. I mean, that's what it's all about, bragging rights. You can go home and tell everybody back in the shop that you beat the entire field by 11 seconds at Daytona, dude.
Thanks to Bulletproof Racing, we put in a lot of hours. You know, we've been doing this for 3 years now, and we couldn't do it without them.
You bet. All right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw it on down to Dakota. I believe he's standing by with our second place finisher tonight. Also collecting a $5 iRacing credit, Adam Montsecoya.
Yeah, and Adam, $5 for finishing second, not bad. Was this a difficult second place, would you say, or more or less?
Well, I had a big old crap moment there when it went 3 wide and everybody wrecked in front of me, and I mean, I don't know, to me it felt like I did a heck of a good job driving through. So, and I just kept it matted and didn't hit anybody and was able to stay out there and I think come out third before the guy got black flag. So, overall good day. I'll take the money and run.
Do you wish it would have ended different with the without the wreck, or do you think you might have been able to finish where you did without that wreck?
Well, starting 10th, it would have been pretty hard to drive through the field. So I think with the wreck that would definitely helped me get up there. But I think I had a good enough truck to drive through the field anyway. But I mean, you can't ever tell what if. So I'll just go with what I got.
Well, Daytona is crazy. Who made it happen for you tonight, buddy?
I'd just like to thank Hot Rod Racing League and GurnerForestR.com, and thank you, ETV.
All right, well, there's your second place finisher, the 74. We're going to throw it back down to JD again.
All right, tell you what, Luke Zyke, effort. He started out on the pole for this last segment here. Of course, that was the inverted field coming off of segment 2. And looks like you had it in the bag up there, Luke. What happened?
I don't know, I just lost it there, just kind of sagged back there, got pushed up a little bit and tried to hold my line, got a little sideways up into the 20 car.
I'll tell you, that double yellow line down there, kind of a tough thing to tangle with down there, isn't it?
Oh yeah, very tough.
I'll tell you what, you got a solid third place finish here in the second segment. That's got to make you feel pretty good.
Oh yeah, I'll take it.
All right, bud. Any shout out there you want to give?
Hot Rod Racing and ETV.
All right, Hot Rod Racing and ETV. Well, I'll tell you what, Dakota, we're about ready to wrap this baby up. 225 lap shootout, 10 lap, no cautions in the end, but a number of caution flags took a good many of the trucks out in the first couple of races, but hey, it's all for bragging rights and for fun.
Well, hey, JD, it wasn't all that bad a racing either. I think it was pretty fun to watch from my point of view and call the race, and I mean, it wasn't a bad race at all.
All right, Cowboy, and we're going to end it right here on that note. Lots of fun here at Daytona. For Hot Rod Racing League, catch them at HotRodRacingLeague.com. Want to thank Ron Day and all the folks over there for putting a great show on here tonight. Dakota Ehrman for working with me up here in the booth. Usually catch him down on pit road, but I'll tell you what, he does a bang-up job anyway. We might just make him a permanent fixture up here in the booth here pretty soon as well. John, the bad boy Westling, of course, everybody else calls him the legend. We all call him Magic Fingers back here in the shop, working the cameras for you tonight. I tell you what, a lot of more racing coming your way. Check it out at etv-eplay.net. So from Daytona International Speedway, we'll see you again next time.
Thank you.